What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk,
Plastic.
intoxicated,
Rip. Plaster.
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Our home and native land. So close. I don't know if that hurts even more. That the drought continues the way it continued. Would have been better just to get swept. Maybe not. But maybe. Oh, Canada. But oh, Florida. Because that was a heck of a Game 7. It was low scoring like you would expect, like they typically are in Game 7s of Stanley Cup Final. And it was intense. Everything I told you yesterday, and even if you just watched the third period, holy smokes. Well, Jeff, there was no scoring in the third period. I know. But there was hitting, and there was unbelievable saves, and there were great moments. And the Stanley Cup came out. And I don't know, man. I still get chills. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't get it, and that's cool if you don't. But watching Keith Tkachuk, who had a terrific NHL career, see his son Matthew lift the trophy, something dad and brother have not done, it's something, man. There's something about that moment, that day on the sports calendar. And when it comes down to being as intense as it was, and as good of a series as it was, and as intriguing as it was, and as entertaining as it was, oh, Florida, the home of the Stanley Cup. Good morning to you, and welcome. Happy Tuesday. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
Oh, what it do?
Did I miss something on that? I think Stuart Skinner, the goaltender of Edmonton, will probably, it's got a hard one for him to get over because the game winner was probably a softie. Probably one he should have had. It was about hip side on his glove side, on the short side, and got through, and that ends up being the game winner by Sam Reinhart. But, boy, what a game, huh?
It was, and credit to the Florida Panthers as we spent all day yesterday on every media outlet talking about how they would potentially slide into the second biggest championship collapse ever, with a lot of people still holding the 28-3 blown lead of the Falcons at the top of losing a championship game. But being up 3-0, then being in this position, a Game 7, they played a Panther-like game. It was ugly. It was grinded out. They limited the offense of Edmonton, which it did not do for the last 3 games. Their style of play eventually won out, and credit to them for being able to pull it out because it looked lost. When you lose 3 games in a row like that, to find yourself in such an unbelievable position, the Florida Panthers were able to play a style of game that worked. Like you said, that third period, it was just a whole lot of let's just get this puck out of here and defend. And sometimes, they say when you play that prevent defense, it prevents you from winning. But they got the goaltending when they needed it from Bob.
Boy, and Sergei Bobrovsky was really, really good, and just under siege in that third period as Edmonton was buzzing and throwing everything at them. And it was something. Do you agree? There's something about that championship. Like I watched the College World Series. I split screened that and watched that, and that's really cool. And the NBA, Hoiston Larry O is really there. This isn't taking anything away from any other, Pete Rose, the NFL stuff, all that. There takes nothing away from any. Do you agree with me though? There's something about that ceremony and that trophy. You can say no. I'm okay with that.
I understand the legend of the Stanley Cup, and
Yeah.
I think it's the most legendary championship trophy.
Yeah.
And when you look at any of them, I think as a fan, if your team wins it, it feels like the coolest thing ever. But there is just a different aura because it just feels like the old man in the room. The Stanley Cup trophy. Like, been there, done that. It just the amount of stories it has, if it could.
So you think it's
speak.
tired? I mean,
No, it's the old man in the room, just like the legend you look at and go, oh,
Yeah.
seen a lot,
yeah.
been through a lot.
Yeah, I think there's something about each dude. Just they won't touch it until they earn it, and each dude getting a chance to lift it and skate with it and have their moment with it, and then they all get a day with it later. And
I think it's more the conference championship trophies, right? They don't.
well, they won't touch that even when they win it,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
but they won't touch this one before.
No, who does
Right,
in any sport?
right. I imagine that's right. Yeah, I imagine so. But yeah, the conference championship trophies they won't.
Yeah,
touch.
that's the fun one. Where it's like, nope,
Nope,
good,
it's-
thank you.
Sit on that table. We'll take a picture with it, but we're not touching it. It's bad luck. And that went away for a minute, but it kind of is resurfaced. I just think the whole aura about the thing and everybody's skating around with it. And I don't know, the moment with the Kachuk family was I thought something. And then when you get down to you got a coach who's not won it, who's been in the league for 30 years and was being interviewed on live TV when his turn came. Did you see that moment? I thought that was pretty special too. It just look winning a championship for everybody at a professional level is hard. And is this any harder than winning the World Series or the Super Bowl? I don't know. I mean, you play a lot more games, and it's such a physical game, such a demanding game. What do you do? An 82 game schedule, and then they played 4 rounds of playoffs, and it's brutal, man. It is, and it's so physical, and like nothing against basketball. I'm not telling you it's not, but nobody will sit there and tell you those guys put their bodies through what these guys put their bodies through. Maybe there's that aspect to it. Maybe it's the beards. Nobody shaves until the playoffs are over. Maybe it is just the old man in the room thing, the lore. But there's something to it, man. And just watching it last night, and I get that same feeling every year this time of year watching it. And you're right, it's different. Like when the Kings won, and I know for you when the Avs won, it was totally different. But this is cool and learning their stories because I don't watch intensely all year. I'm not going to pretend I do, and I didn't know a lot about these stories until the last month watching closer, and you start getting into some of them, and they're special, And if Edmonton would have won and watched Connor McDavid win and Draisaitl and some of these guys, it would have been pretty special too.
It would have been game changing for the sport because there were people yesterday saying Connor McDavid could become the best player ever, and hockey hasn't had that conversation
Since Gretzky?
since Gretzky.
Well, no, I mean a little bit with Mario Lemieux.
All right, Mario Lemieux, Crosby as a young player, there was that buzz.
Yeah.
But I did not hear the amount of hockey people legitimately say they would consider Connor McDavid. Yeah. Yes, we'll talk about him as being the best player
On par.
ever
Yeah.
with Wayne Gretzky, and he's still probably the best offensive player in the sport of hockey. Won the Conn Smythe for the playoff MVP, which a lot of people scratching their head, but because it's a playoff award, not a.
How were you with that, by the way?
I'm
That was
fine
the right
for his.
call?
Yeah, when you look at it, the only players with more points in the postseason were Wayne Gretzky twice and Mario Lemieux. I think Connor McDavid had a pretty good postseason.
No, he had an insane.
Now the last 2 games,
he did
not scoring a
he didn't
point.
score a point. Yeah.
well, they won, of course, Game 6, but
What about Bobrovsky? Even though he had that, I mean, he was terrific, except for, and I'm not even going to think in Game 5. I thought Game 5 when they lost 4-3, I didn't think they got beat 8-1 and 5-1. So he kind of had 2 bad games, but he carried them through the playoffs. The goaltender for the Florida Panthers.
yeah, he was their star, so he would have been the pick for the Panthers. I'm fine with it when you have a offensive postseason like McDavid. The voting, if it came down to Game 7, and you wanted to weight it more on the goaltender who got the job done, only gave up 1 goal versus McDavid, who did not get a point in the board, and you have to get a point.
I mean, don't you?
Assist, score a goal, like you can. Like this is your moment.
Well, take me back to the original conversation, because I think you're. What if they would have won and he didn't score a point? What if Edmonton would have won and he didn't score a point?
And he would have still. They would have given him.
Well, no, I know that, but the conversation you said, you said it would have been game changing for the game because the conversation has been, can he be best ever? Now, to be the best ever, to be considered better than the guy whose nickname is the Great One, to me is the greatest nickname ever, the Great One. You got to win a title sometime. You got to win a few, right?
Yes, you do.
You can't be the Great One or be greater than the Great One if you don't win championships. And so,
Your great what if.
yeah, all right.
And join Dan Marino.
But would he have been in that conversation if he didn't score a point in the last two?
He would have still.
He would have because of the historic run that he had in the playoffs. Yeah, I think that's probably right. And he's still young. What's he been in the league? 8 years? I mean, it's been a minute already. That he's been here. It's interesting. I mean, when you're of a certain age and you remember, he was drafted in 2015. Yeah, number 1 overall in 2015.
Yeah, so just 27 years old.
Yeah. He's got. I mean, look, it took Jordan a long time to win a championship. I think LeBron, it took a minute to win championships. It's taken Connor McDavid some time, and you got to believe he will. That's a pretty good club. And Knobloch, their coach, who was coaching, was it Hartford or the ECHL, right? He was in the minor leagues. They found him midseason when they started.
Well, that's going to be actually interesting because you look at it's Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, and those two, it's equivalent to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
I think that's right.
Like having that level of player on your team.
But
they've
right.
also been incredibly underwhelming, and they had an incredible run. They fired their coach midseason because they were bad.
Well, they started out like 1-8 or something. Then they went on a 16-game win streak, was one short of the longest win streak in the history of the National Hockey League.
So they have that ceiling, but do they have that consistency?
We'll see, because you got two of the best players, and they built it through the draft. Their number one pick in 14 and 15, and here we are in 2024. And the draft is going to be this week, and those guys are still there, and they kept him in Edmonton, Alberta, not in New York, not in LA, not in Florida.
Connor McDavid is a Canadian kid.
Well, most of these guys are Canadian kids, but they also like going to Florida where there's no state.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
They
It's
like those
just
sunshine. They
and
like
it's,
the women.
You know, it's to me, it's like the weakest thing when people are like, oh, how's Florida winning championships? Because they all can pick from the same players.
Well, that's right. And then free agents, where do you want to live? You want to live in Edmonton or you want to live in Miami? And I mean, without due respect.
Like, it's not just, oh, you're in Edmonton, so your team's still Canadians, and you're in Florida, and you have to pick from a bunch of Florida kids. No,
they got a
it's
bunch
sport.
of Canadians on that
doing
team.
the same thing everyone else is doing. And that's why 3 of the last 5 Stanley Cup champions
Have been
have come
Florida
from the
kids.
state of Florida, which shows you that you have good owners,
Oh, by the
front
way,
office in sport. You can compete anywhere.
by the way, they throw another one in there in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, there's you're 20-something years old. You got a lot of money. You get to pick where you want to live in the winter. You want to live
Way
in Edmonton,
up there in
Alberta,
Canada?
yeah, or you want to live in Miami. You want to live in Tampa. I mean, with all due respect to Edmonton, Alberta, I've never been there, and I'm sure the people are wonderful. You want to go freeze and live that lifestyle, or you want to go down in Florida, no sales tax or no state, there's sales tax. There's no state income, sunshine, that lifestyle. I mean, you pick it. Oh, and by the way, you might be able to win the Stanley Cup. It was great last night. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. 505-246-0610. We're going to give tickets away. Got 2 pairs of tickets to A Day to Remember, the least anticipated album tour. It's Tuesday, July 9th at the Rio Rancho Events Center. We'll do that at 7:25 and at 9:15 today. You good with that? 7:25 and 9:15. So we'll give away 2 pairs of tickets today. Coming up at 8:20, Forrest will be here. Topes are home. They start the second half. It's a brand new homestand. It's a whole new homestand. It's a whole new ball. Who's in town?
We were just building for the second half. That entire first
like
half,
last
it was just practice.
Just like
we're talking about practice. Now, lock in.
That's right. That's what Forrest will tell you. By the way, I'm going to guess they got some. They got big promotions too. So we'll do that. We're going to hear from JJ Redick today, the Lakers head coach. Boy, he won the press conference, didn't he? Whatever there is about winning the press conference, they did that. You got a College World Series champion as well. 505-246-0610. If you want to get in on this, I mean, if you watch a little hockey, the Gretzky thing's going to be interesting. JJ, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be hard to get anybody off of Gretzky. It's going to be like Jordan, right? I mean, LeBron came along. The people who were Jordan people are never going to get off of Jordan. If you saw Gretzky, and I watched Gretzky play, Gretzky got me into hockey. And when he came to the Kings, it was unbelievable. JJ, it's going to be hard to get me ever off of Wayne Gretzky.
It's going to be hard to get pretty much everyone off Wayne Gretzky.
I mean, with all due respect, look, but before him, there was Bobby Hull, Bobby Orr, Espositos, right? There were great players before. But the great one. And yes, Connor McDavid is really, really good. And I think you and I both thought Edmonton would win last night because they had the best player in the world, right? And they had won 3 in a row. They didn't. All the credit to Florida. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Zone.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone.
Oh, you got the hockey last night. You got college baseball last night. Catch any of the Tennessee 6-5 victory over Texas A&M in the College Baseball World Series? Tennessee wins their first ever title. It was pretty good stuff, too. Bummer for ABC Disney. They both fell on the same night. Not sure how they allowed that to happen on the schedule, but they did, and they split their audience. I got to believe the hockey numbers going to be pretty good, don't you think?
I think they will be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, not two huge media markets when you come to hockey, and certainly not. I think ABC would have preferred two American markets, and New York, LA would be great, or Denver, or something. But I just think the intrigue of the series and having a Game 7 and it being on a Monday night in the summer where, normally there's not much else going on, but you did have the College Baseball World Series, was interesting. I'm interested to see what the numbers were, but I thought it was fun. I'm not going to lie, I didn't watch a bunch of it. It did hit me. There was no West Coast at all. It was all SEC and ACC, and I guess that's the world in which we live now. But look, there was a Pac-12 this year. There was a West Coast Conference and a Big West and a Mountain West, and nothing out here. It was Virginia and Tennessee and Florida State and A&M, and it's what it was. And the Volunteers win that thing, and it's their first ever. All right, 505-246-0610, 8889-220-610. We're going to get into JJ Redick here in a little bit, but there's some other stuff going on in the NBA, and I'm watching, and I think most of you are as well, what's going on at Golden State, because negotiations between the Warriors and Klay Thompson, by all reports, have stalled. And as the free agency period starts, or will start soon because the draft starts tomorrow, Mike Dunleavy Jr. is their general manager, basically reiterated his stance on the 12-year veteran. He said, we want him back. And we'll see how much they want him back and at what price. He said, I think being reasonable and rational, that's always how I'm going to operate. But to say about a guy like Klay Thompson, who's meant so much to this franchise, to completely strip the emotion away from it, I think that's almost impossible. It's about being smart about it. It's more like if there's a point to go over the tax or one of the aprons, then we will do it. The most important thing to the ownership is winning. You've shown that. You just have to be careful with the new rules. I don't know. That was his quote. JJ, with certain players, when they've been with an organization for X amount of years, but more so when they have been integral in championships, plural, and dare I say integral in a dynasty, and meant so much to the community, been by every account good people, good citizens, good teammates, gone through the injuries and come back from what he's gone through, to say, and he said, you can't take all the emotion out of it. And people are saying, you got to take the emotion. I don't know how you do. I don't know how. Now, Mike Dunleavy wasn't the GM the whole time, and maybe it makes it a little bit easier, but it doesn't sound like it does. Right? But This is one of those where how do you separate business anymore?
I think it's going to be easier for Dunleavy to do that
Than it would have been for
Bob Myers.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for Klay Thompson. But that quote from Dunleavy, everything he just said, he's laying it out for Klay Thompson to not be on the Golden State Warriors. Because Klay Thompson is not a player that you pay a contract to that puts you higher into the tax, that puts you in a different apron. Like, what all that means is a team is just paying more penalties for being over the salary cap. Yeah, the league has a cap, but you can go past it. But then you have to pay taxes on that. And Klay Thompson
big taxes.
Yeah, Klay Thompson is not a player that is worth big taxes at this moment in his career.
I don't know where Warrior fan is. I haven't really had my pulse on what they're thinking of the Bay Area. I haven't heard Steph Curry say anything. Have you?
No, and I honestly think that's the right move for Steph.
He's got to stay out of the middle. And you know he's got feelings, but I understand is he and Klay are pretty tight. That's just Splash Brother. That era of basketball, the last decade, they've been the best duo in basketball. Period. You may say for a year, oh no, I mean look what Wade and LeBron did for this year, or Tatum and Brown this year. No. Over the last decade, that duo has been the best duo in basketball. They have. What about LeBron and AD? Yeah, they had some nice games, and they won a championship. No, these guys have been the best duo in basketball, and they've been tight. But everything comes to an end. The Warriors have to make a decision on Chris Paul. This feels easy to me. You tell me what I'm missing here. Chris Paul has a $30 million non-guaranteed salary for next year. The Warriors have until Friday to pick it up or waive. What's the decision here?
I think with anything, I don't believe that they're going to pick it up. But you weigh your options. Like, is this something that works for someone else? Because it's still a tradable asset. So you don't just cut him before.
Is he tradable?
Yes. Everyone in that league is tradable. How many teams is Russell Westbrook going on?
But okay, so tell me the benefit. At $30 million, if you don't trade him, what's his value? What's Chris Paul's value?
It doesn't match his salary. But for a team, it could be, acquiring, expiring contract to move some assets around. Like, there's always a way. I don't necessarily see a team that needs to unload something on there, and that would make sense for Golden State to pick up, but everything is movable. Everything is an asset in the NBA.
See, I'm looking at a 40-year-old point guard who was really good and still does commercials, but there's no way I could justify giving him $30 million.
If you're on a bad basketball team.
But they're not. Or at least they don't think they are. And I don't think
Well, I mean, that's why he's tradable.
Yeah. If you include his non-guaranteed contract, and they owe Kayvon Looney $8 million guaranteed on Monday, the Warriors have $175 million in salary. Ownership wants to stay under the salary tax. This one's interesting to me, man. And normally I tell you, like with the Cowboys and Dak, it doesn't feel like there's as much emotion into it. You know what I'm saying? Boy, are we going to get into it. Why? Because he's been there, but he hadn't won championships like these guys, right? It's, I don't know, man. You think of the Warriors, what do you think of? You think of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, right?
Yes, you do.
And I don't know that they're ready just to completely admit that that's over, because I think they've got one more run in it. They signed, and Draymond got his. And I think that's part of where Klay's coming from is, wait a minute, you paid that guy.
Yeah, because he's a more impactful player for what they need.
And certainly
right
at this moment. Yeah. This one's going to be interesting to watch, man. It's going to be tough. When we come back, we'll get into the Lakers situation. And I do believe J.J. Redick won the press conference, but will he win championships? What he had to say, why it was the right approach. We'll do that. But first, I got a pair of tickets to give away. It is a day to remember, the least anticipated album tour 2024, Tuesday, July 9th, at Rio Rancho Events Center. 2 tickets to caller number 4. Caller number 4 right now. The number is area code 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Caller number 4 wins those tickets, courtesy of your good friend JJ Buck at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build.
JJ, there's a number of other players who have coached before. First-time head coaches without any previous experience. Some did well, some did not. Steve Kerr did well. Vinny Del Negro not as well. Doc Rivers has done pretty well. Isaiah Thomas not as well. Right? Each one of these guys is going to be judged on their own merit. What stood out to you from the press conference?
I think it's easy when Reddick has that reaction for people to go season over his head and he doesn't believe he should have this job and it's just LeBron's guy and this is who he's going to be. Well, we better be careful. I don't think this is who JJ Reddick is going to be the entire time. I can understand just being frustrated because I think JJ Reddick, as he talked about, this isn't just, oh, LeBron wants me to be his coach, so I'm going to be a coach. Like, he interviewed with Toronto last year. It's been something that's on his mind. Now, this was an easy end for him with LeBron. Now, the way that they tell the story, and Rob Pelinka talked about it, it was actually Anthony Davis that was the one more involved than LeBron James throughout this coaching search, but I never believe anything like that when it comes to LeBron and
Reddick said
basketball.
they didn't talk, right?
Yeah. I like JJ Reddick. I think it's a fascinating hire. Whether it was the Los Angeles Lakers, if it would have been the Toronto Raptors, heck, Charlotte, it was in that conversation as well as a time for him. But he understands, and I think he feels it. It's a different level of scrutiny when it is the Los Angeles Lakers that you're walking into, and the relationship that you have with LeBron James. You're going to have a sense of people just thinking like you don't deserve that job because you just got it because you do a podcast with LeBron James.
Yeah, I think that's right. Do you have the clip? So he was asked by a reporter, what misconceptions do you want to dispel? That you haven't coached before, that you're LeBron's buddy, that you got the job. Is that the clip you got? Because this is the one that everybody's listening to. And this is the one that people lost their mind. And this is the one where I listened to it. I'm like, good for you, man. You know what? I get it. You dropped an F-bomb and maybe you shouldn't have done that. And whatever. And You knew better. You were on TV. You didn't do that when you were on First Take, and you didn't do that when you were on with Doris and Mike Breen and whatever. I think what he was saying right there is, I'm my dude, and I'm comfortable with who I am, and I'm comfortable with how I carry myself and how I approach the game and what I'm going to be able to do. And I listen to people scrutinize, he shouldn't have analyzed the defense so much, and he's going to have to get out of analyst mode and learn how to get into coach mode. And I don't even know what that means. Bill Jackson coaches different than Steve Kerr, that coach different than Red Auerbach and Tommy Heinsohn and Pat Riley and Chuck Daly. They all have their way. They all have their own way. He played for Mike Krzyzewski. He's cerebral. He went to Duke. I think he's proven himself as a good basketball. Everybody tells you. He's been a trusted broadcaster. I think he's been a fair broadcaster. He knows the game. Obviously, in Toronto tight. Does that help him? Does that hurt him? I'm going to tell you, going into this job, whoever takes over that job should be tight. I heard, well, they can't be friends anymore. I don't know. Can't they? Well, he's his boss. First of all, I question that. He's his coach. Does your coach have to be your boss? Who's got more power? LeBron James or Jason Redick? That's easy. Who's got more power, Jason Tatum or Joe Mazzulla? Right? Can you be friends? Do they have to cease their friendship or alter their relationship? They may have to alter it a little bit, but can you be friends with your coach, and does your coach have to be your boss?
I think where LeBron James is at in his career, it's entirely plausible for this to actually work out.
I think
because
you're
you
right.
don't. However you feel about LeBron, he doesn't need to be held accountable. He doesn't need to be motivated. Like, he's going to be ready to go. He's going to play to the level he can at this point in his career. And if you look at players on that team, if you're just a role player, this isn't, an Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving, like, oh, I'm a star player that's fresh. Like, if you're a role player on the Lakers, like, you're going to be all right. You're going to be bought in. You're going to listen to Redick. You're going to listen to LeBron. Because I think it's an understanding of, I think we all believe that it's a 3-year deal he'll sign. Right? Because that's he can get.
Redick?
No, for
LeBron.
And it's just this window where I think the one question is in huddles. So this is where it could get interesting.
Who's going to run the huddle? Who's going to drop plays?
Yes.
Okay.
And if
fine.
LeBron is in there doing it, then I don't think.
All right.
That's
If it's LeBron, it's a different story than if it's.
But I think you know what, it's all about moments and times of games. And if your star player is kind of taking over late, calling the play, no big deal.
Let me tell you something. First of all, what do you think the role of head coach at the NBA level is? Is it X and O coach? It's partially that, but it's personnel management, isn't it? And knowing the game, I got a 40-year-old guy who played 15 years in the league, who's respected at every level, who was good, by the way, not great, but was a good player. It seems to be likable. He seems to be no BS. And I think he walks in there and he commands the room. And by the way, if he's got the stamp of the alpha on your team, then he should have the stamp of everybody else. Right? I think it's good. Look, LeBron's history with coaches, and you know where I am with LeBron. I'm not a big LeBron. His history with coaches may or may not have prevented him from winning more championships. I don't know that, and we'll never be able to say that for sure. But the fact that he is going to be down with this head coach, get along with this one, should set them up for some more success. Now, I don't know what their ceiling on success is. We can have a talent conversation saying, hey, are the big two of LA good enough to compete with the big two of, and go down the list? Are they good enough to be, is Anthony Davis and LeBron James at this point good enough to be better than Jokic and Murray, to be better than Luka and Kyrie, to be better than Tatum and Brown? We can have those conversations. Because that may be real. But I think from the coaches, I agree with you. I think they may be set up in a good spot. After all said and done, after all the criticism, well, he's never done it. No, that's fine. Dude, let me just tell you something. There's a big difference in this world between can you do it and have you done it. And I lived it firsthand when they gave me reins of a bowl game. I'd never run it. What the hell did I know? And I think by now I think I can do it. Well, I thought then I could do it. And I think by now I've done it, right? Going on 19 years. And JJ, I learned it firsthand, the difference between can you do it and have you done it. You and I talk about this all the time in a different atmosphere. How do you get experience? Right? How do you get experience? What's your experience? You got to go do it. And it's on Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss. If they believe he can do it, I get it. Yeah, he wasn't their first choice. Danny Hurley was. Fine. Pete Carroll wasn't the first choice at SC when he got the job. He did pretty well, didn't he?
Yeah, and there's also going to be so much more swirling around this. Just based on like who didn't get a job and who's still out there as an assistant coach forever and not getting a head coach opportunity. And another one that falls right at the feet of LeBron.
Yep. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, I'm not done with this yet. I want you to hear what J.J. Riddick had to say, what your thoughts are. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Center.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
The other big thing that came out of it, no more podcasts. That was the other big thing that came out of J.J. Redick's Laker introductory press conference. Redick called LeBron a friend. He said that J.J. Redick and LeBron maintained their distance during the interview process. Quote, he didn't provide any advice. LeBron and I didn't talk about the Laker job until Thursday afternoon, about 30 minutes after I was offered the job. And that was very intentional on both parts. The tough one to really believe, right? They didn't. I mean, that's what they're whatever. It doesn't matter at this point, does it?
All that matters is J.J. Redick is the head coach. And how are these two going to function when they're not just chilling, talking basketball, breaking it down after the fact? Like, they have to execute in the moment.
According to Rob Pelinka, the general manager there, that said LeBron was supportive in the Lakers search, but he chose to not be heavily involved, and that Anthony Davis chose to be very involved. However, Pelinka said that he was very excited, was Davis, about J.J. Redick's hiring. All right, do we have that one sound? All right, we don't.
Not of the where he throws the bleeps out.
All right, so J.J. Redick was asked about are there any misconceptions about him that he noticed during the coverage of his candidacy that he wanted to clear up? And he went on, he looked at the reporters. That's a really fair question. And he said, I heard it all. I did. He says, I really don't give a bleep. Like, honestly, I want to coach the Lakers. I want to coach the team. I don't want to dispel anything. I want to become a great coach in the NBA, and I want to win championships. And I want to maximize my players, and I want my players to maximize their careers. That's all I bleeping care about. That was his quote. And from where I sat when I heard it, and I still feel this. Fine. Like, did he need to drop the F-bombs? No, he didn't. But I think it was very intentional on his part. I do. I think it was intentional for him to just flat out say, look, man, I don't care. I don't give a bleep. And I don't know what would have been the right answer for those of you who feel, well, he didn't need to cuss. Okay, you're right. He didn't. But I think it was making a point. Yeah. And JJ, were you bothered that he used that language? Were you one of those people that say, look, he knows he couldn't cuss on ABC?
No, I think he used it very intentionally.
Yep. No doubt.
Like, to make people uncomfortable, to say, all right, I heard it.
Yeah.
I get it. Doesn't matter anymore.
100%. Like, yeah, I got it, man. And done. I don't give a bleep. I don't know how to say it any more firmly. If he just said, I heard it and it doesn't bother me, and I don't care because it wasn't relevant, but I don't know, man. Sometimes using those words, if you're not dropping them all the time, you know what I'm saying? If they're a little bit out of character, it carries a little bit more weight when you hear somebody say that, right? Doesn't it? When you don't expect it. Maybe that's just from where I sat. What I heard is a dude just going, man, stop. Like, boom. I don't give a bleep. That's all I bleep and care about is women. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people said. And I'm going to go back to the same thing I just talked about, the difference between can you do it and never. And I think this guy walks into this job with the utmost confidence in who he is and what he is. I think he's set up to succeed. We'll see. Now, what success means, JJ, I think the bigger question is his roster, and I asked you the question before the break, is LeBron James and Anthony Davis good enough to be in today's NBA, are they good enough to be the cornerstone of a championship team?
It's
yeah.
Well, when you look at what LeBron James is still doing, it's crazy that we still are thinking about him that way. Well, yeah, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, you should be in contention, and we've kind of seen a bit of both worlds the last 2 years, from a Western Conference Finals appearance to a first round exit. But I think that the biggest challenge for the Lakers is not being in the play-in. Like, can this be a top 6 team in the Western Conference?
They have to. They have to.
They've been a play-in team the last 2 years. And that's going to be the biggest thing, is can they find a consistency in the regular season, knowing that you can't, like the Anthony Davis saw last year, it could sprain one ankle and then everything's out the window, and then it's all back on LeBron. And we saw, that he wasn't able to be great early in the season to get you where you need to be to be able to finish as a top 6 team.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, Cowboy fan, you're not out of this. Are you going to be looking for a new coach soon? Because the report out of Big D is your coach is fed up with the owner. I'm going to tell you flat out, if that's the case, who's going to win that battle? And it ain't even close. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, glad you're with us on a beautiful Tuesday morning. I'm 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See you, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
So you got a Stanley Cup champion, and they are from Miami. Or Sunrise, South. Florida Panthers win last night, 2-1. They beat the Oilers in Game 7. It was fantastic. You had a member of the team who did not win the Stanley Cup win the Conn Smythe player, because that is for the overall playoff. That was Connor McDavid. That was not greeted very well. Gary Bettman got booed. What is Gary Bettman? He's been the commissioner of that league for 116 years. And every time he's been out there, they just boo him. I guess if you are commissioner, you get booed no matter any time you take the mic, right? Is there a commissioner that doesn't? I don't know one. Craig Thompson always did. Gloria doesn't right now. I think you guys are still okay with her. Gloria Navarez of the Mountain West. So you got that going. We've been talking about the Lakers coaching job and J.J. Redick in the press conference yesterday and how he handled that and is he set up to do well and where we go. The other thing I want to talk about is your Cowboys. And the story came out this week that Mike McCarthy is, quote, fed up with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. And it came out in a report by Tyler Dunn of Go Long. He said that McCarthy is fed up with Jerry Jones' undermining. Quote, McCarthy is doing the best he can. Some of the people I've talked to have said that he's getting fed up a little. That's great. And he can be the next ex-coach. Look, Jerry Jones long had a reputation for being hands-on. He is hands-on. He's got his own radio show. The other owner in the league who has his own radio segment every week is his son, Steven. Nobody else does. Which is fine. That's how they do it. Him and Jimmy Johnson, the Jerry Jones-Jimmy Johnson breakup was because, really, of how hands-on he was. Bill Parcells left. JJ, this is easy, right? Who wins this? The guy who owns the team, the guy who signs the checks, the guy who makes the decision. You're fed up with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones probably fed up with you because your teams have not won a playoff game, haven't done well in the playoffs. Jerry thinks he's put together a roster that's going to win. He thinks Dak is the greatest quarterback ever. He thinks, never mind you going 12-5 and winning division titles in the regular season. You're not winning playoff games. This is an easy answer. If he's fed up, I promise you I know who wins this.
What is he fed up with?
I'd love to know that. His undermining. What is that?
He preventing you from acquiring players that you want to acquire? Did he take you a different direction in the draft room than you wanted to go? You tired of him coming to your office to chat you up about football stuff?
Going on the radio.
What does that mean?
I think a lot of it is, and I don't know, going on the radio, talking about you, second-guessing you after games. Like, what do you, after Cowboy game, and more so after losses, what do you think is more anticipated? The Mike McCarthy press conference or the Jerry Jones?
Jerry Jones.
No doubt, right? And there's not And the owner, even Peter Trevisani in that way.
And you know what? And Jerry Jones does what every fan does, but fans hate it. Dak sucks, and he was unacceptable this week. But the owner does it.
Well, certainly.
Yeah, guess what? He's still putting the team together.
Yep.
He's not preventing you from executing any play.
He's paying players
on a Sunday.
He's paying players. He's getting you what you need.
It's an easy scapegoat because, Jerry Jones has been there, done that. And doing that means not getting to an NFC Championship game, which means you can't get to a Super Bowl.
Chad, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. I know you want to talk about the Cowboys. What's up, Chad?
Hey, guys. Yes, it's the same old story. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're very familiar with this. Not surprised whatsoever. Here's the problem. If you're a coach who has a plan and a vision, you cannot fully know that plan can see its fruition because you have an owner that is undermining the situation. He has a weekly radio show. He speaks to the press openly. There's no respect towards the boundaries and the authority and the vision of the coach, which is why the Cowboys since Jimmy Johnson, when we had Bill Parcells, but any coach who has a lot of strength and has a lot of who has a vision, has a way, like a Bill Belichick, somebody who is a strong coach, has avoided the Cowboys for this very reason. And now it's just happening once again, and they're just and I'll even say this, as a Cowboys fan, I feel like Jerry Jones, he should have fired Mike McCarthy after this past year. It was very frustrated. I think I called in. And I just feel like he's doubling down on his stubbornness, his kind of petulantness of I know what I'm doing, don't you? And I think this is going to be one of those seasons that's just going to be a really rough season, a rude awakening for the Cowboys once again, because we've lost pieces, he hasn't replaced them. He's just doubling down on his own stubbornness of I know what I'm doing, and he doesn't. He's not. He's proven that he doesn't know. He's just an owner. He's made money in business, but you got to leave those decisions to people who have the credibility and have the experience and the expertise to do that. And until that happens, I just feel like every year it's going to be a lot of disappointments for the Cowboys. And I'm speaking as a fan that is like taking a step back this year because I'm tired of the dysfunction, and it's just emotionally unhealthy to follow a team that is constantly, when there's dysfunction, you're putting your eggs in a basket where you know it's going to flounder at some point. So why? Why would we do that? That's all I got to say.
I appreciate you, Chad. I think, JJ, over the years, I used to say, and there's part of me that still thinks what Chad does, right? Hire football people to do football things. You made your money. You're very smart. You made your money in business. Run your business, but let people.
What have they done so wrong?
Well, so this is where I'm coming back around, right? At some point, as you do it over the last, what's he been doing it? 25 years, 30 years? Do you become a football guy? At some point, is Jerry Jones a football?
Everyone jokes about it. He has not made terrible decisions. He's not in there drafting Johnny Manziel or drafting players they don't need. They've gone offensive line. They built that up. Michael Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, those are pretty good first-round draft picks.
Yeah, I think that's right over the last bunch of years. I think
to Chad's point, which I do think is interesting, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Now, is the noise going to be there regardless? Yes, but it is different when your owner is talking all the time. But what is he undermining?
So I think, and I don't want to speak for Chad, but this is where I hear this a lot.
Like, what plan has he prevented?
So, not necessarily plans, but when you got the owner analyzing game decisions and the emotion after a game, in a post-game press conference, when I got the owner saying, man, maybe we should have gone for it on fourth down, or just getting into the minutia of a football game and second-guessing your coaching, or even, I think it's dangerous. This is just where I sit. And I think this is what Chad's saying. I think it's dangerous for that relationship, for him to make himself available to the media. Hell, I don't blame it on the media. If he's going to feed the media, they're going to eat this, right? But to have post-game press conferences,
who cares? Honestly,
obviously Mike McCarthy does.
Okay, then why'd you take the job, dude?
Yeah.
There's a 20 some odd year track record of this is who Jerry
that's
Jones
who he
is. And by the way, now what I do think is interesting, to Chad's point and other players, is when he talks about not seeing the plan through. Look at, like, is he giving these guys too much rope? Jason Garrett was a coach of the Cowboys for how long? Like, and Chad just said we should have fired Mike McCarthy.
Right.
He's not. He's sticking with Mike McCarthy. Like, he sticks with these coaches. Now, is he just doing that because he's more powerful than him? He's going to be more powerful than anyone. Even Bill Belichick would go in there and not be more powerful than Jerry Jones.
Parcells is the only one who was on that level that he hired right after Jimmy Johnson, right? I mean, Barry Switzer had a lot of swag to him, but I don't. That obviously didn't work. And then, I mean, we went through the Dave Campos and the Jason Garretts, and
like,
right?
I understand the other side of the argument where people are like, JJ, you're dope. Jerry Jones is the reason they're not winning because he talks to the media.
Yeah, I think the talk to the media is where this frustrating. I think, you know, and that's not.
Like, what do you think, Mike McCarthy?
It can't just be it.
This is nothing new. This has been a criticism of Jerry Jones for how long?
Yeah, to your point, Jerry Jones, and I agree with you, has gone out and spent money, maybe overspent.
The problem is they haven't spent money.
Well, but
the problem with the Dallas Cowboys right now,
the
is you have
situation they're in now.
3 of the highest paid positions, and you have not figured out a way to negotiate those earlier. So you are driving yourself into a Grand Canyon of disaster. The fact that Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons are all waiting for a payday.
All right, so let's play that, because I would argue with you that over the years, up until this recent dilemma that they're in, they have spent money. But let's take this. Isn't this on Jerry? The dilemma they're in right now, isn't it on him?
Yes, this is the one that. What direction are you taking your franchise?
And he's got to figure that out.
Paying Zeke Elliott, you paid him a lot of money.
All right, so maybe that's what McCarthy's frustrated with, or maybe that's what he's getting. What's the term that they used in here? I want to make sure I get it right. He's getting fed up a little bit. Maybe that's it. The uncertainty. Why didn't we pay the damn? Maybe McCarthy thinks
that's the
or make a decision. Maybe pay him or don't.
Yeah, that's the worst thing the Cowboys have done.
All right, well,
you
maybe
have
that's
the of recently. Yeah. Now, yes, he's on the field. I get it. Blah blah blah. But I'm talking about, like, just managing the team.
Yeah.
To get to a point where right now, the 3 highest paid positions in sport is quarterback, wide receiver, and like an elite edge rusher.
Yeah.
And those are the 3 dudes
and you got
that you
ones.
haven't figured out the future on.
And you got good ones.
And that's what's going to hurt you over the next
All
couple
right,
weeks.
so because this report, Tyler Dunn's report, does not give details of what he is fed up with, right? He's hands-on, and he's this, and he's that, whatever. Maybe that's it. And honestly, dude, if you were the head coach and you knew going into this season, damn, you got to win. And I'm sure Jerry said, well, Mike, we got to win this year, right? Well, then commit to the damn players who are going to help me win. I got a quarterback who's kind of running around just going, whatever, man. If you don't pay me, I'm going to get paid. Somebody else is going to pay me. I got a wide receiver who's not in camp. I got an edge rusher who's out there just going, I don't know what the hell's going on. So maybe that's what he's fed up. And if in fact that's what he's fed up with, that's relatively legit, isn't it?
Yeah, for the Dallas Cowboys to get to this point,
to
have 3 premium positions, and knowing however you feel about Dak Prescott, okay, but the other 2 guys, like, there would be 0 people upset if Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb got their extensions. But to have those 3 guys still sitting out there and an uncertain future, like, that's a problem. Like, that's a hole the Cowboys are digging themselves in right
now. All right, 505-246-0600. I want to continue this conversation. I got emails coming in from Cowboy fans. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Come on in. We're going to get into what the Isotopes have going on this week as well as they start the second half of the season. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck on 95.9 FM. And AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling
We
your...
would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them, gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. find it on ProView Networks.
Forrest Stolting is here. Albuquerque Isotopes. I mean, their manager is 0-0. He's got a 0-0.
Whole
record.
new ball game now,
That's
right?
what we were saying. It's a whole new homestand.
He's
What's up,
got
man?
it. Oh, not much, man. We're just excited for the second half.
How
We've
many,
won our last 2 series, 8 the last 11 games, so we are just on a roll right now.
Last year, Isotopes had a really rough first half. For those of you who don't
Yep.
know, the slate has now been cleared.
Yep, 0-0 for everybody.
Yep, AAA Pacific Coast League. You play
Yep.
the first half. And
Yep.
who won the first half?
Sugarland.
Old Sugarland.
Them Space Cowboys from Houston.
Yeah, that was sweet for them. They win the first half, and now it's everybody's cleared. And the second half winner will play the first half winner in the playoff, and everybody. So you got a chance. And last year, your club had a really rough first half, not
Yep.
dissimilar to this year.
Very similar.
And then went on a run in the second half, and damn near won the second half. And so here you go.
Yeah, we were only a few games out of the playoff spot last year. We were down to our last series against Oklahoma City. We needed to win 5 of 6. We only won 3 of 6 to make the playoffs, and so we were just a couple games short. So hopefully this year, all this momentum we got going into the second half, we can end that playoff drought that we've been having since I think it's 2013, I believe.
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
It's been a minute. All right, homestand starts today. Second half starts today. By the way, JJ, you should have seen Forrest and Dylan. They got all gussied up on Sunday night at the New Mexico Sports Hall of Fame banquet, and there they were up on stage accepting the award, accepting the recognition from the Hall of Fame for being the best minor league franchise in America.
It was an honor to be there.
congratulations.
Thank you, man. Yeah, you did a great job yourself emceeing the event. You kept the energy up, the energy level up the entire time.
Man, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about me. There was
I
enough,
get it,
There
yeah.
was enough in that 25-page script that I got an hour before. I don't need to tell you jokes. I don't need to tell you stories. Let's just, next.
Exactly. You did a great job. I mean, hearing those stories was a lot of fun, so I think you handled it to perfection.
Yeah, we got it done at 2:45.
Wow. Was it really that fast? That's incredible.
Yeah,
It didn't feel like it.
I've been to some of those, man. They go longer than a long baseball game. I'll tell you that. All right, we got a new homestand today. Salt Lake's in town. We get day ball tomorrow. So
Yep.
make your plans to have. Oh, I just made lunch plans.
Oh, well,
I just did that.
just move them to the park.
I literally just move lunch for tomorrow. And then on what's the next day after Wednesday? It comes
Thursday. Yep.
You get free magazines.
Yeah, from
Courtesy
Albuquerque
of
the
Albuquerque
magazine. Yep.
Yep. And then do you know my daughter got 4 bylines in the latest magazine?
Really? That's
Gina
incredible.
Gina and Lara
Wow.
were over there, and it was all stoked.
Well, grab a few magazines and check out her work.
She'll sign them for you.
Please do. Yeah, bring her to the ball game this weekend.
and then you got a big weekend coming up.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
And nothing. My favorite night of the year is Saturday.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So Saturday night. We'll start with Friday.
You wanna go Friday before Saturday, because that's chronological.
I do like that idea, actually, Jeff. Look at this is why you're you, man.
I don't even know who I am.
So on Friday night we have our country night. Gates open at 5:00. We'll be giving out 3,000 cowbells.
That'll be good.
It's gonna be a loud and ruckus crowd on Friday, I think. Thanks to the New Mexico Livestock Bureau. And also at 5:15 we'll be having a pregame concert in the berm.
Really?
Nathaniel Krantz will be hosting that and playing for about 50 minutes or so.
Nice.
Sponsored by the Dirty Bourbon.
Yep.
Should be a whole lot of fun. And we also have our pregame autograph session from 5:30 to 5:50. So if you want any autographs from Isotopes players, stop on by the third base alcove. And then Saturday night,
What's an alcove?
a little cutout from the from the concourse, if you will. That's the way to describe it, I think. A little jet out.
Down like aisle 117 or something.
Exactly. Yep.
Little jet
Where
out.
the cameras, where the cameras are.
A little jet out. I don't even know why. That's funny.
Yeah, thinking on my feet. Thinking on my feet.
I mean, alcove. You ever use the word alcove in anything? Alcove. Like
It's a very like 19th century word, probably, right?
body of work. You use that only around the NCAA tournament. Well, I have a body of work. Alcove. All right. What else? And then we changed the song on Saturday.
We do, yeah. A little blast from the past.
The Dukes are coming out. You know the song?
I've heard it. I don't have it memorized, but I know the song.
Yeah, you probably should by Saturday.
Yeah, right. So
Dukes
we have our Dukes Retro Night on Saturday night. We'll be wearing those great Dukes jerseys on Saturday. We'll also be having our Albuquerque Professional Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 6:15. We'll be inducting the great Mike Scioscia, who played for the Dukes from 78 to 79 as a catcher, and then managed the penultimate team in 1999 before going on to manage 19 years with the Los Angeles Angels and winning over 1,800 games.
I believe they were the Anaheim Angels.
Well, they had three. You're right. They had three names at that point. They're the Anaheim Angels. Then they're the Los Angeles. Yeah, and now the Los Angeles Angels.
Anaheim out of their name
completely.
It is.
Yeah, and even though they're still cemented in the city of Anaheim, but I guess the branding of LA, the city of Angels, is a little bit stronger. But yeah, so really excited to have him inducted into the Hall of Fame.
City uniforms, though. Did you see that?
The phenomenal.
They grasp the whole Orange County vibe and the waves
and the state across
it's really
it.
Cool. Because back when I was wearing, they were
in the day, the California SCA with the halo around it.
Yeah, just like the straight halo like they use now, but they did intertwine the C. But the California, the Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, and I think it was like the late '90s with they used like the turquoise blue a little bit, powder blue in there. I love that color combination, that hat and that jersey.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, I mean, gotta give a little shout out to the Angels, all the 4 or 5 different names they use over the years. But yeah, so Mike Scioscia will be in town. We'll have a pregame ceremony on the field at 6:15 to induct him into the Albuquerque Baseball Hall of Fame. He had a heck of a career. Obviously coached the USA baseball team in 2021 Olympics. They got a silver medal. Only loss was to the eventual gold medal winning Japan team. And then to cap off the Dukes night, we'll have fireworks to end all the festivities. Weather permitting, of course. Yep. All up to that fire marshal.
Super still out there, and it's perfect. And Francina says, "We're gonna." The fire marshals want to do a test, and they fire up one, hey, yay! And then like later on, they're okay. It's a go.
Of course, Francina. Then to cap it all off, we have our Faith and Family Night on Sunday. Little multi-church team worship service before. So it should be a lot of fun on Sunday.
You go from Friday, sponsored by Dirty Bourbon and Cowbells, to the church day on Sunday. I get it.
It's a full circle weekend, right? Sin to Savior,
We went from being in last place to maybe we'll be in first place. I mean, let's just run the whole damn gamut.
Exactly, right? Full circle, man. That's what it's all about.
All right. And tickets available for everything?
Yes, sir. Yep. abqisoaps.com or stop by the box office. Home Run Derby XL tickets are available as well. So we're excited about that. And I think we're under 60 days to that event now. So it's coming up fast.
So tell me about that event, because the boss was talking a little bit about that. And you got the Home Run Derby X is coming in. And for people who don't know, you want to get tickets.
Yeah. So it's a fast-paced derby with defense, right? So the traditional derby is, you only hit home runs, but this one you can play defense and get points for that. It's a 4-on-4, 4 teams, 3-on-3 competition, 2 semifinals, a final. We got Manny freaking Ramirez coming in town, Johnny Gomes, Ian Desmond. We'll have a 4th name to be announced, hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Be a freaking in his name too? Or?
I hope so. There should be. I mean, it's the home run. It's MLB event, so they're bringing the heat. That's for sure. Right. So, and also local hero Andrea Howard, UNM star, Jocelyn Allo, one of the greatest softball players of all time from the University of Oklahoma. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, fast-paced, 2.5 minutes per at bat.
Yep. And they play defense in a home run derby.
Exactly.
I've never seen it before. All right.
There's going to be like over 200 home runs hit to the berm. Oh, that's classic. This is the Dukes coming out swinging.
On every way.
This is some high energy right here. I love that little right there. What a touch. That's amazing.
It's not a whole new ball game anymore, but it's different. All right, man. It's great to see you.
For sure. Yeah, man.
Got
absolutely.
a big weekend out at the ball yard, and it's a whole new start. It's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new season. They're 0-0. They play tonight. And get out there and enjoy the Salt Lake Bees. It's great to see you.
Yes,
Congratulations
sir.
on your recognition.
Of course, yeah. Thank you,
There's another
Jeff.
Hall of Famer that was on the stage. There's Kenny Thomas is here.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like reliving it all. All
Yeah.
right.
Jeff, you're the man. Thank you very much.
You're
Pleasure
the
to see
man.
you.
I'm just a dude. How many of those ice sculptures?
I got a number of them. That's for sure. My closet is just like it's exploding
If
of
you have more
isotope gear.
stuff, or if I have more over the years, different New Mexico Bowl stuff.
Oh, I'm sure it's about the same. Yeah, right. I mean, because you got add a little here, add a little there.
Gotta give JJ a couple.
You're right. Yeah, you can't leave JJ out.
All right.
My man.
It's the opening drive. Get out there, and it's all at abqisotopes.com.
Yes, sir.
See you.
Later, bro.
This report is brought to you by Sandia Area Federal Credit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Show that shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop.
Sports Animal. Should be a good weekend out there. I love Duke's Retro. I just do. Dukes. I can't believe he had never heard the Duke song. I played it for him again on his way out. He was like, when was that written? What?
Yeah, it's probably a little busy when it's playing pre-game.
Maurice wants to know, would you rather be the Isotopes and have a chance to go to the district tournament with momentum, even if you have to play on the road? Or would you rather be the Space Cowboys who now have to sit on their hands for 3 months waiting?
You'd always rather be the team or person that's in.
I'd rather know I'm in. All right, Lobo Obo says, reply to that AAA honcho. Jeff, they're no longer the boys of summer. Let's look at the critical days. Memorial Day, no game. 4th of July, road game. Labor Day, no game. Even if you throw in Juneteenth, road game. Is the same idiot that schedules Lobo football or basketball now scheduling baseball? You do know the league scheduled this game, right? Like they didn't say, hey, put us on the road for the 4th of July and so sorry. It is kind of weird though. I'm not gonna lie. 4th of July when they're home, it makes 4th of July easy. Go out to the ball game. It does. That's next Thursday already, huh? Holy bleep. All right. 505-246-0610. That's how to get it. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Steve from Michigan's wondering, do you still use the caller that "let me call you back" clip at all? Remember when you have that? Yes, Steve, we do. He sent me that on the text line at 505-246-0610. It sounded something along the lines of...
Oh, hey, sorry. I got a call. Jeff, let me call you right back.
It is still classic, isn't it? Edward is the caller who called, and we put him on the air, and that was his response. Text line says, we were talking about the Cowboys, and we're not done with this yet. The problem with Jerry Jones is that he thinks because he's rich, he knows everything. Even after he dies, this trend will continue because his son is the exact same way. Cowboys will never win another Super Bowl.
See, that is one you have no response to because there's a track record. And it's easy to point out, we're not even talking Super Bowl appearance, NFC Championship appearances. And it's easy to say it's because of Jerry Jones.
Well, he's the common denominator, right? He's been the one constant over the last 25 years, right? What was their last appearance in the NFC Championship?
It's like 27 years ago.
Yeah, we're coming up on 3 decades.
Yeah.
And
I have zero pushback to it. I think it's funny that people think, now that last texter doesn't, but if Jerry Jones passes away and the next year they win a Super Bowl, then we'll have all our questions answered. It was because Jerry spoke to the media.
Well, I don't think that's it. I think that
what is it
that
then?
aspect, no. That aspect, I think, for me, you asked specifically, why is Mike McCarthy, what is he getting fed up? I think that's got to be part of it. And to your point of then why take the job, I think that's totally fair because he's done it forever. I think it's totally fair. I think what the further part is, and this is going to come out now. Now this story's out, there's going to be more and more, and this is going to get ugly. But what is Mike McCarthy fed up about? It's got to be, you're telling me I got to go out and win. And he does. And he's got to know it, man. And by the way, they were 12-5 last year.
Been 12-5 the last 3 seasons.
And there was a point midway last season where I remember it came out of my mouth, and I'm not ashamed of it, where I said, mid-season or whatever point it was, we're talking about Coach of the Year. I think Mike McCarthy's got to be in that conversation. Everybody's, how? Because they were killing it, dude. Dak was rolling. He got the best out of Dak. They were killing it, and then they didn't. Okay, but you're right. They've been 12-5. Mike McCarthy is not a bad one. No matter what you want to make of Mike McCarthy, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been successful. I get it. He doesn't look like you want him to look. He's a little heavy and whatever. So is Belichick, but he won. I don't care what he looks like. But if you're going to tell me he's fed up, my guess is he's fed up with the uncertainty of what's going on. To your point, JJ, the 3 highest paid positions in the NFL, quarterback, star receiver, and edge rusher, I got 3 good ones who are up for extensions, up to get paid, and they're all wavering. So I got a quarterback who's coming to camp, and all they're asking about is his contract, and he's like, look, man, I mean, if they don't pay me, someone else will. I got a receiver who's not there because he's not getting paid, and I got an edge rusher who's going, what the hell do I got to do? And you're telling me I got to win, I got all this uncertainty. So if that's what...
Got to win regardless.
Yes, you do, and that's why.
The uncertainty. Do you really think that Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Parsons aren't showing up this season? No.
No, I know they're all going to come because they want to get paid.
So that is a glaring, just financial mistake that the Cowboys have made. I think a lot of people are fine. Like they're like, don't pay Dak Prescott; he's not worth it. Okay, but that still
But the other two?
still affects you moving forward, not figuring something out with his contract. The fact that you let Justin Jefferson get paid, Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, and reset the market, and you didn't get in on CeeDee Lamb, that's a disaster. Because that affects what you can do moving forward with the salary cap. So the worst thing you'd say is they haven't paid their talented players yet. But everyone keeps saying, let the football people make the decisions. What have been the bad decisions? Did Jerry Jones jump on the phone and start calling defensive plays in the playoffs last year?
And so I'm coming to your side on that. Now, you want to look at a 27-year track record or whatever it's been.
Yeah, and that's why I have zero pushback in this conversation in Cowboys. But they keep saying, let the football people make decisions. What isn't being made?
Yeah, currently. But what isn't being made? You didn't re-sign your 3. Yeah.
But that's not why they've lost in the playoffs the last 3 years.
No, that's not. And so if you want to say it's the coach, then fine. Then you should have fired your coach. If that, in fact, is the case, then you should have gone after Bill Belichick or Jim Harbaugh. Right? Because they were both there to be had.
Yeah, it's the conversation of, well, Jerry Jones is undermining his coach. Well, then he actually has stuck with coaches, and then fans are like, get rid of these guys.
And the fact is, Cowboy fans for the last how many years have said he's stuck with coaches too long? I mean, you wanted Jason Garrett fired 3 years before they fired Jason Garrett, right? You've wanted Mike McCarthy 3 years before they fired Mike McCarthy, and he's still there. So you're right. He supported his coaches, and now you got a coach saying, I'm getting fed up. You got a gong show, and Chad, the last caller, might not be wrong, dude. This could be a rough season. When we come back, you have to bet one way or the other. Cowboys are either going to be in the NFC Championship or they are going to miss the playoffs. Which one is more likely? We'll do that when we get back. Hey, if you've been the victim of the home or business break-in, you know way too well that it takes hours, if not days, for police to respond. Because there just aren't enough police officers to cover all the calls they get. And when it's your home and when it's your business, you need a much quicker response. So how about 7 minutes or less? That's normally the response time for customers of International Protective Service. That's IPS. They offer officers who are strategically placed around Albuquerque and now in Santa Fe. They react quickly. Many times they catch the criminals in the act and they can detain them, and they call police to come pick them up. IPS also provides standing guards, so if you need eyes on your property around the clock, they can offer that for you. And they install alarms and camera systems. And they have state-of-the-art facility to monitor those cameras 24/7. It raises the level of safety and security around your home and business. So who's watching your home when you're away on summer vacation? Don't let it be the bad guys. A quick response to your alarm or your standing guards or at your home or business. That's what IPS does to let you sleep better at night. Look, you can't prevent all the crime, but if you've got no protection, you're much more likely to be victimized. Here's their phone number, 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more,
just search KNML.
Text line. Good morning, Jeff and JJ. Oh, crap. I got a text message coming in. I'll text you right back. It's from John in the Duke City. Classic call when he said that. I love it. Yeah, it was classic. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. So Mike McCarthy is special. I'll ask you that. I mean, with the way they are, do you think it's more likely? Now, it could be somewhere in the middle. They can go to the first round of the playoffs again. More likely the Cowboys get to the NFC Championship game, or they miss the playoffs.
In that scenario, I'm taking miss the playoffs for $1.
I think I am too, JJ. Look, I think there's a scenario where Eagles win the division, and you have the Lions and the Packers, and whoever comes out of the South, and the Rams and the Niners, and then you got a bunch of teams fighting for that 7th spot between, I know I'll throw Arizona, but Minnesota. Hell, maybe the Giants. What are the Giants? If Daniel Jones is any good, are they any good?
I still think they're behind Dallas.
Okay.
There's just the lack of talent across that roster.
I think that's probably right. Do you buy into the Commanders at all if Jaden Daniels is any good?
Yes.
Okay. That'd be something if Dan Quinn gets in and they don't. That'd be something. I'll ask you that question. Cowboy fan, 505-246-0610. We're going to give away some tickets at 9:15, and you're ringing the phones now. At 505-246-0610, you got a short break. I want to hear what you say. Next, on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Not that proud of us.
Get ready for it.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
OD AM, they raised the Stanley Cup last night. Panthers beat the Oilers 2-1. They win the series 4-3. First ever Stanley Cup championship. And JJ, look what we get to raise. I officially just got it. Look at that, boys and girls. Kiki Garcia just brought it in. Neither you nor I were at the New Mexico Broadcasters Association banquet, the awards banquet the other night. And so Kiki ended up with our award for winning Best Sports Show again. So here it is, JJ. It's right here. Here it is to you, all of you on the ProView Network stream, watching on Facebook on the OD and the AM. Comcast Channel 26. This is what you helped us with. Congratulations, my friend.
Congratulations.
Where do I put it? Like right there where everyone can see it?
Next to the other one.
We're going to need a bigger trophy room. All right. Lots to do this morning. I've been asking you the question. You've been ringing the phones at 505-246-0610. With Mike McCarthy getting fed up, according to a report, with his owner, Jerry Jones. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys coach. How does this end? And it ends with Mike McCarthy losing his job at some point. Has Jerry Jones been too patient with Mike McCarthy? Does Mike McCarthy have a reason to be fed up with the owner? What is that reason? And I ask the question, is it more likely that, and this isn't, hey, well, I think they're going to make the playoffs and lose. Okay, fine. I think that's kind of what they do every year. Is it more likely, in your mind, Cowboys get to the NFC Championship game or they don't make the playoffs? And I think both of us are on they don't make the playoffs at all would be more. Text line says whatever the over-under is for the Cowboys and wins take the under. They are the third or maybe even the last place team in their division. They're not even going to get double-digit wins this year. Okay? Could be an interesting one, man. And what does that do for Dak? Does he still get paid next year? Let's say the Cowboys go, I don't know, JJ, take a 9-8 year. That'll mean Dak was all right. I got to believe. What does it mean for him?
It possibly keeps him out of the $60 million per year conversation, but Dak Prescott is still a very valuable commodity. It is one that there are plenty of teams out there that look at Dak Prescott and go, he's an upgrade from what we have.
100%. I mean, I'll give you scenarios if you want. Seattle jumps off the page too, right? Carolina might be in that boat next year, depending on what happens there. I mean, literally they might. New Orleans is probably in that boat. Let's watch what happens with Tampa Bay, right? The Giants might be in that boat. The Jets, if Aaron Rodgers retires. I mean, where are they going to go? Cleveland's super interesting. Pittsburgh has 2 guys on 1-year contract. I mean, Denver, I think. I mean, let's watch. I don't know. The Raiders. Like,
I don't think that in year 2 of any of these rookie quarterbacks, they'd be on like Bo Nix.
I don't think I gave you. I think I gave you Denver. Denver was the only one of those.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that yet. But there's still plenty of options, and a second act for a quarterback can be better than the first act.
We've seen it. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com, JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. You can watch the show on Comcast Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How are your Cowboys living? Let me do that again. Hello, Howie.
Well, I'd say, like I told JJ, I think my Cowboys are a hot mess. I'm not really sure what the outcome of the season is going to be, but I think I'd lean more towards not making the playoffs than NFC Championship game. And here's why. I'm beginning to wonder, at what point do CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott begin to make business decisions on the field with their bodies? Because, I mean, let's face it, if the Cowboys are dragging their feet and signing them, I mean, if leaving it all out on the field, I mean, and what happens if there's an injury that occurs? I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, I think when they play, they play. I always think that pro athletes have a way to play. And JJ, is pretty adamant on this. I think when you're out there playing the off-field stuff, does it affect it whether or not you make a tackle, a catch, a block, whatever? I think when you're playing, you're playing. Now, would they be as quick to come back from an injury or something like that? I think there's something to that. But yeah, man, if they're not convinced that the franchise is dedicated to them or has their back, then why are they going to be dedicated?
Could be. And, I would venture to say that there are some collegiate backfields that are better than the Cowboys' backfield right now.
Running back?
I don't see the running back situation is scary. It's in bad shape, and that means you leave the ball in Dak's hands, and we've seen how that's how that's played out a few times. So kind of why I'm leaning towards maybe not making the playoffs, and unless Mike Zimmer can do something really magic with the defense. But that's my opinion on my boys. Have a good day, guys.
There was talk of leaning on Dak less. And if your backfield is Zeke Elliott, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, Royce Freeman, can you lean on him less? This is going to be an absolute committee, isn't it?
It's as committee as it gets.
Zeke will be your guy.
It's not set, though.
What do you mean?
There's camp coming up. There's going to be other veteran running backs that get cut. I think they could add in a guy on the very cheap to throw in there. Because when you look at Dowdle and Vaughn, man, they're so small.
Both of them.
So it's June 25th.
Yeah.
There'll probably be another player around the corner that they can get on the cheap to add to the backfield.
Okay. How much better is that going to make you feel? I mean, like,
as long as the offensive line's blocking, the NFL has shown you don't have to be a star to be successful at running back.
I think that's right. And I think their line is pretty good. I think they've got a good young tight end. I think they've got good receivers. I am concerned about how they run the football. But I also know that you find running backs all over the place. To your point. Now, it's not like they drafted him. But you find running backs all over the place. The drama, do you think it escalates? Or now this report's out, do you think Jerry calls him in and says, him and McCarthy, and say, let's hire him?
It's always going to escalate.
I think so,
like
too.
Whether Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys or not,
They're the Cowboys.
A spin around it. It's the Cowboys, it's the Lakers, it's the Yankees.
Yeah. I think that's right.
And when there's not success, then there's always going to be, well, it's because this is too loud or that's too noisy.
I think all of that's right. And he's given him a lot of leeway, man. There's been a lot of leeway on this thing. It's not like he was quick to fire me. He held on to him. A lot of you wanted Jerry to fire Mike McCarthy. That it was time to go. That it had to go a different way. It didn't go that way. Cowboys are interesting, and I think they're going to be really, really, really interesting as we go on. All right, 505-246-0610. Got a couple of police blotter things we got to go over in the National Football League. Guys being released and off-field issues. Maybe we got to get back to work so that you're a little more occupied. We'll do that when we get back. Tell you who they are and what the teams have decided to do. We got two more pairs. We got two more tickets. Not two more pairs. 2 tickets to give away right now. It is to A Day to Remember, the least anticipated album tour of 2024. It's Tuesday, July 9th at the Rio Rancho Events Center, and you can get tickets on their website, Rio Rancho Events Center. Caller number 3 right now, 505-246-0610. Caller 3, get a pair of tickets. A Day to Remember, the least anticipated album tour 2024. Call now, 505-246-0610, here on the Sports Animal.
Get ready to step into the ring of
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Like Ensure that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
NBA draft starts tomorrow. I got some thoughts on that. National Hockey League draft later this week. NFL camps open soon. It's police and media day. JJ, like what day is it? Tuesday, 2 weeks from today. Big 12 Media Day. 2 weeks from tomorrow, Mountain West Media Day.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're going to fall in love with everyone around the Mountain West Conference.
With every new coach
this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I am all in. I'll run through a wall for this guy because that is what happened. Because most of them are really just good dudes.
Is that why you're not going?
Well, kind of gets expensive when I don't have a bowl game.
Yeah, fair enough. My issue is what Blazers, what sports coach. That's kind of my issue. Is that a first world issue?
Yeah,
kind of. No. Here's your police blotter. The Kansas City Chiefs have released defensive lineman Isaiah Buggs after multiple arrests in Alabama. He was booked on a domestic violence and burglary charge in Tuscaloosa on June 16th. That came after he was charged in May with 2 misdemeanor counts of second-degree animal cruelty. This is the whole thing. Remember, he was the guy who said that they're setting him up to shut down his vape business. Or no, his hookah bar, right? It was his hookah bar. So they finally said, yeah, we're done. It's the Chiefs have been dealing with off-season stuff for Rashee Rice and Isaiah Buggs, and so they've opted to go the other way. Meanwhile, ex-Raider Chandler Jones pleads no contest, so he stays out of jail. It was a June 17th domestic violence charge. So he will avoid jail time if he meets certain conditions in Nevada. He received a suspended 90-day jail sentence. It'll be dismissed, will the charge, if he stays out of trouble for the next 6 months and has no contact with the victim except for family court orders. Good times. Maybe I don't know. Too much time in your hair in the off season? I don't know. But that's your police. What was I just? Oh, draft. Okay. What are the odds? And I see this a lot. Every draft, every pre-draft board, every mock for the NBA. Bronny James is going number 55 to the Lakers, right? And that's like, and there is no draft. You can go back through history. I gotta promise you, there will be no draft that there was a consensus at number 55.
No.
Right? I mean, honestly.
This guy no better, no worse than 55.
I mean, he's going at 55 and he's going to this team. There's not going to be a trade. And we're talking about, I mean, honestly, you don't know the name of the guy who's going 1, 2, 4, 5. You don't. But there's a 6'1" guard who averaged 4.8 points, 2 assists, 2.5 rebounds as a bench player on a 15 and 18 college team. Who's undersized, who NBA scouts say isn't really a great ball handler, not a great shooter, good athlete, but he's small. I mean, that honestly, blind resume, and this guy doesn't get a sniff, but he is LeBron James' kid. So, JJ, any idea without looking who's at 54?
Without looking.
Boston Celtics. The Lakers have a rival. Who would it be?
The Boston Celtics?
The Celtics take him at 50. I mean, what the hell? And demand a second-round pick next year. You got to believe next year's 55 is better than this year's 55. Everybody, by every account, this is a weak draft. Or I don't know, who's drafted at 52 or 48 or whatever. Why wouldn't someone just say, you know what, I don't need another Eastern European power forward who's not coming over. Take Bronny James, see what I can get from him. Is that just bad blood? Is it just considered unsportsmanlike? Like, it almost feels like we're playing a game of gentleman's poker here. And somebody's going to say, yeah, I'm not a gentleman. Where everybody knows what the Lakers want, what they're going to do. And LeBron James can still opt out of his deal and become a free agent. We believe he's going to opt out of his deal but stay with the Lakers. But does a team like whoever say, hey, I'll take Bronny to see if LeBron will come sign with me, and if not, I'll try to trade him. Or is it just a gentleman's game? No, we all understand what you're doing. All right, go have it. Do it. But it's a damn business. And if Bronny James is currency, and in fact, he would he not? If LeBron James is currency and he's sitting on the board and he's worth more than, I don't know, the guard you're going to take out of Central Michigan or the power forward from France, all these French players seem to be all the rage. Why wouldn't somebody take it?
They don't want to upset the apple cart.
What apple?
Rich Paul, who is a prominent agent for a lot of players in the league.
And at some point, you're going to have to deal with
worth the drama to just have drama? So we're sitting here all morning talking about Jerry Jones is too much drama, and that's a distraction, this or that. And now a team should draft Bronny to hold him hostage.
Should draft Bronny as a business move. I mean, I guess we could.
The only business move is you're trading him to the Lakers because you think that
I can get a better asset. I want Rui Hachimura. I want
no.
Okay. I want whatever. I want next year's second round. Whatever. So we're not. If the answer is we're not going to do this because I'm afraid of upsetting an agent, that's its own issue, is it not?
Yeah, but it is they.
I don't want to upset Rich Paul because at some point I'm going to have to negotiate with him over a player, and this agent is so powerful that that's a problem in its own right. If I think that I can use,
you don't think it's an asset. You just think you're holding him hostage because the Lakers would be desperate to trade for him.
Okay. Otherwise, what do? You put him on your team? You got LeBron James' kid. What if I think LeBron might come play for him?
I think that's out there. People know if that's true or not, and I don't think
they will
true.
know, right? They'd have talked to Rich Paul about that. I'm Cleveland. I'm whoever. So you think he slides all the way down to that 55?
I do, because I think some of it too is you just don't want the mess that comes with that. Like the way that Rich Paul has acted, it's not that, hey, Bronny is a prospect and we're excited to see wherever he goes.
Yeah.
It's Bronny is going to where I want him to go because he's going to sign a guaranteed deal and be on an NBA roster.
You know what's another interesting piece? We talked about J.J. Redick so much earlier. How's J.J. Redick handle that? His good buddy LeBron is the star player. And we're going to assume that LeBron's kid is going to be there. I mean, what happens when LeBron calls up his buddy / coach? And we got to get Bronny some time. We got to get Bronny some run. And Bronny's the 14th guy on a 14-man roster. How's he going to handle that? Because that's going to happen too, don't you think?
If LeBron James does that,
yeah,
then there's nothing you can do.
If
LeBron honestly thinks
yeah,
that next season Bronny should be playing anything other than the last 30 seconds of a game, the Lakers up or down by 20 points, then you have no hope.
If you're J.J. Redick.
If you're J.J. Redick from the Lakers. Like, if he's going to act like that.
I don't pretend I know LeBron James. And I would think that winning a championship is more important than getting his kid on the court, but I don't know that that's right. I mean, you're saying LeBron understands the school, right? He just wants his kid on the roster. He just wants to travel with his kid. He wants to give his kid a chance, but he realizes his kid's not good enough to actually be on the floor with him. Is that what you're telling me?
You'd hope he'd realize that.
Because the whole world seems to realize that, except for, but again, here's a guy who's smarter than everybody. He knows better. He's the best there's ever been.
And he stepped in it. And I do think that it's not easy because anything you've seen from LeBron,
yep.
Like he's at his kids' games, he's there hyping them up, and when he put it out there that Bronny could play in the league right now, and I want to play with Bronny, like as calculated as he is, like you get hyped up and in dad mode, and then you're like, oh well, this is going to be really tough on Bronny, but he didn't care in that moment.
By the way, for Bronny to go out there and I don't want to say get embarrassed, but be put in his place. What's the term I'm looking for? Right? For him to go out there and to realize what he is.
If you thought it was rough when Caitlin Clark got hip checked, and the world wanted Kennedy Carter arrested.
That's interesting.
What do you think is going to happen if someone does a flagrant foul on Bronny James?
No, that's really, really good. And I didn't even consider it. Do you think Bronny gets out there and gets the Caitlin Clark treatment?
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron comes up and plays dad on it? Yeah, it's really interesting.
And I again, if I'm Bronny, it's tough because the people that have been with you your entire life and have helped develop you as a basketball player to get to this point and to all of a sudden be like, you know what? I don't want any of this. I don't want your help. Because I don't think this is the best path for Bronny, is to deny all the workouts and only work out with Phoenix and LA and then shove him on a Lakers roster. I don't think that does anything for him other than, all right, you're on an NBA roster. But what has any of this process or even thinking about just being on a roster going to make him a better basketball player?
Well, that's what I asked you the other day, right? Explain to me Rich Paul's thought about development, Rich Paul being the agent, how you develop better. He's not going to the G League. He's not on a two-way contract. He's freaking Bronny James. He's better than the G League. I don't even know if he's good enough for the G League, to be honest with you. I mean, do you think what's closer to the truth? He's better than the G League, or he's not good enough to play in the G League? What's closer to the truth?
Bronny James is G League,
right?
That's
yes. He is.
What that league is for.
He is developmental guy. Yes. So that's you just said my point. I got an agent here who's saying, all right, my guy's got to develop, and so he's not going on a two-way contract. Well, how do you develop sitting at the end of an NBA bench as opposed to going and playing for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants or the Santa Cruz Warriors or somewhere in the G League? If you're playing every day, well, no, he's going to be with LeBron James, and he's going to be with the Lakers, and he'll get it all by osmosis, and that's how he's going to develop? What are we doing? And the second LeBron James retires, you cut this guy, and now what's he going to do? And he's lost 2 to 3 years of development. Right? I don't understand how, other than financial, which I don't want to discount, because obviously we're in a business here. But other than financially, how that benefits the player. How he develops into an NBA player, how he becomes that guy. It makes no sense. All right, when we come back, something happened in the big leagues last night that has not happened since 1929. It's the opening drive. A 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Hour.
This is two.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. all your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
$1929 was a long time ago, wasn't it? They didn't watch it on the interwebs back then. 1929 was the last time it happened. What's up? And Merry Tuesday is the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Glad you're with us. You can get in on any of the stuff we've been talking about today. Whether it was the Stanley Cup champions being crowned last night and the Panthers, you can get in on the JJ Redick. Laker fan, where are you on JJ? Good, bad, you're stoked about it. You're like, you get in on Bronny, Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, evidently fed up with his owner. JJ, what if you and I came out and said, I'm just fed up with Cubans? They tell us to go find another gig, right?
Well,
I'm just fed up with the boss.
Depends how much money you make around here.
I imagine that's right. I imagine that. It's probably like it. All right, this happened last night in the big leagues. I took a look at it. I wanted it to be way more spectacular than it was. Because I love when stuff hasn't happened in a century or so. The Phillies got a 1-3-5 triple play. So triple play is rare in its own. 1-3-5 is pitcher to first baseman to third baseman. Double play. And it hasn't happened since July 11th, 1920. So you can go to the ballpark any day and maybe see something that you haven't seen on it regularly. But they were up 4-0 in the third. They were playing the Tigers. Tigers had runners at the corners, first and third, nobody out. And the Tigers' Matt Vierling hit a broken back soft liner right back to the pitcher. Aaron Nola was the pitcher. The two base runners had strayed off the base, and so he threw to first for one out and went over to third, and the guy was on third base. Zach McKinstry was just running home. You see, I mean, he was like, what was he doing? You get a triple play, a 1-3-5 triple. I don't know that I've ever seen it. I don't remember the one in 1929. I was probably watching it, but I don't recall seeing it.
I mean, you were listening to it.
All right, that's right. And there's the pitch. It's a soft liner back to the pitcher, and he throws the first and a spectacular throw over to third base, and it's a triple play. A triple play. We've got a triple play. It's a triple play. That's spectacular, and we got a triple play.
Can you believe Eskimo Joe?
And now this. Smoke Lucky Strikes. Lucky Strikes will make you feel better. Smoke. digest, feel good, Lucky Strikes. Now we have a triple play. Yeah, it sounded just like that.
That's exactly the way it sounded. I'm amazed we're able to get the audio that quickly.
It's courtesy of Phillies radio back in 1929 before Harry Callis. Yeah, that's what that was. That was good. You go out and anytime you see something that at least for me, you haven't seen it. This came down this morning. Kristaps Porzingis will not be in the Olympics. This rare left leg injury that nobody could pronounce during the NBA Finals. He will have surgery in the coming days, will not play in the Olympics. This was the torn retinaculum and dislocated posterior tibialis tendon that he suffered. Yeah, he was hoping that he was going to be there for the Latvian national team and play for Latvia, and he will not. So Kristaps Porzingis, I don't know what the return is on this. They say a few months, whatever that means. It's so bizarre, man. So JJ, I was thinking, all right, no hockey, no hoops for a while. Camps open in September, right, for hockey, and early October for basketball. I mean, that's like 2.5 months.
It's quick.
There's. I mean, if you play till the end, I was kind of dawned on me last night a little bit that it was June 24th. We're playing hockey in South Florida for the Stanley Cup. It was probably 100 degrees and 90% humidity. And that's, but I tell you all the time. I mean, you play a different game. It's certainly in baseball to end the season than you do to start. As you go through the seasons, that's where we're going. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Brandon Ayuk is the 49ers receiver who last week got out and he said that the 49ers didn't want him back. So evidently the Niners are going to meet with Ayuk, according to Ryan Clark of ESPN. He's made it clear he wants a contract extension, JJ, and he skipped the entire offseason program. That was mandatory mini camps, OTAs, all of it. He's under contract. 5th-year option of $14.1 million. Reportedly wants $30 million. Or quite a gap between 14.1 and 30 million. Justin Jefferson reset the market. He's not Justin Jefferson. But Justin Jefferson got a 4-year contract that averages $35 million a season. So he's the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. A.J. Brown, the Eagles receiver, is getting $32 million a year. Amon-Ra Brown of the Lions is making $30 million a year. Jalen Waddle of the Dolphins, $28.2. They've all signed extensions. Where does Brandon Ayuk slot into that? Because he feels closer to Jalen Waddle to me than he does to Justin Jefferson.
He is closer to Jalen Waddle. It's timing. And the 49ers, they're trying to ride it out and get the best of everything. You have the Brandon Ayuk, the Brock Purdy contract, which they can't negotiate after this season anyway. So they're riding that. I think what they want to do is play this season with Ayuk, Samuel, Kittle, McCaffrey, Purdy as is. And then they have an out from Deebo Samuel's contract after this year. Then that would allow them to negotiate with Brandon Ayuk. But also just from a player's standpoint, you don't want the uncertainty. You want the certainty of the extension now. But you can see the path is there for the 49ers making Brandon Ayuk their clear-cut number one while signing Brock Purdy and making those decisions because it's going to be tougher. Like, you can't have Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle once Brock Purdy gets paid.
So Deebo's the man out, right?
I think Deebo is the man out.
Is it because he's older? Because Deebo was a one of a one 2 years ago, right? Deebo was a big, strong, fast, tackle-breaking, kind of almost a freak of a player 2 years ago, right? Brandon Ayuk is a receiver, a good receiver. He's not one of one. He's one of a bunch, small bunch. He's a really good receiver. But Deebo was different.
Yeah, but you have Christian McCaffrey.
You do.
So Christian McCaffrey does all that stuff, and you already extended him.
Fair enough. Deebo's bigger than Christian McCaffrey and catches the ball downfield better. But, yeah.
Someone's going to go.
I agree, right? When Brock Purdy's got to get paid, somebody's got to.
And there's an an out in Debo's contract.
Okay.
Or you could just let Brandon Ayuk go after this year.
Well, I think they made it pretty clear, too, when they went out and drafted a receiver in the first round of the draft.
Because it's not just the skill position. Suppose like Trent Williams is not going to be that dude at some point in time. He's talking about your 36, 37-year-old left tackle. And then so you're going to have to start addressing the needs there. You're already Nick Bosa on the other side getting paid.
Drake
like
Greenlaw,
having the luxury to have all these guys on these contracts changes after this year.
Because their quarterback is making under $1 million a year. But their quarterback, assuming he stays on the trajectory that he is on, and he's making so little money because he was the last pick in the draft, as opposed to these guys who are making all these millions. But his rookie contract is this is the third year, and it will be time to pay Brock Purdy. Because Brock Purdy has become inarguable top 10 and arguable top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. And he will get paid, and that means everybody else can. Some can, but not everybody. Not Debo and Ayuk and McCaffrey and Kittle and Trent Williams and Nick Bosa and Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. They can't. And so who's it going to be? Ayuk, so you think they re-sign him now? And he's somewhere in the area of $24 million in this market. I don't see him as a $30 million guy. He's at 14 now. But where do you see Brandon Ayuk? How good is he to you?
Dude, he was the 7th leading receiver in the NFL last year.
Okay.
That's $30 million.
So he should be paid like number 2 or 3. He's the 7th leading last year. After 1 year, he should be paid as the second.
It's not one. He's heading into his 5th year. It's productivity.
He's good. I'm not arguing that he's good. He's really good. So he should be the second, third highest paid receiver until CeeDee Lamb gets paid. So then he'll.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Well, that would be
Waddle.
$30 million would make him higher than Waddle, under Jefferson and Brown, and Jamar Chase,
and Amon-Ra.
And Amon-Ra. So it'd be like 2, 3, 4.
He has a case for it. I don't think that San Francisco is going to necessarily do that per year. This is just, to me, this is more posturing as opposed to Ayuk not going to be there. It's of timing of it all. And this all changes after this year when the 49ers restructure their salary cap and offense after paying Brock Purdy.
All right, 505-246-0610. You still have time to get in this morning. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. When we get back, I'll wrap up everything that we got into today. What you got to know as you go through your Tuesday with the headlines. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. and we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Stanley Cup final last night, Game 7. I think people would say that. Panthers beat the Oilers. It was a good one. 2-1. The first time the Cup will reside in South Florida. First time the Panthers as an organization. That's right, organization have won the Stanley Cup. The Conn Smythe Trophy, which goes to the most valuable player of the playoff overall, went to a player on the team that did not win the Cup, Connor McDavid, who had a historic playoff run, was the winner of the Conn Smythe Trophy, much to the chagrin of the home crowd there in South Florida. They would have liked Sergei Bobrovsky to win it, the goaltender for the Panthers. The Panthers win the Cup 2-1. They win the game 2-1. They win the series 4-3. Also last night, College Baseball World Series, Tennessee beat Texas A&M 6-5. They win that championship. First time Tennessee has won the College Baseball World Championship. J.J. Redick held his press conference as being introduced as the Lakers head coach. And when asked what misconceptions he wants to dispel, and did he hear all the stuff during his candidacy over the last month, he said, yeah, I heard it, and I don't give a book about all that. Not here to dispel anything, here to be a great coach. Phillies turned a 1-3-5 double play. First time that's been done in the big league since 1929. And Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, according to a report coming out of Dallas, is getting fed up with his owner, Jerry Jones.
He's not going to take it anymore.
We're not going to take it. No, we ain't going to take it. We're not going to take it. All right. That's what do I got here? We got this one on the. Where is the IOC along with the NHL wanting to turn the Hockey Olympic Games into a Summer Olympic event rather than a winter one? The rationale being winter schedule events conflict with the season in ways requiring teams to release players, and the event is played indoors and can be played in the summer. So he says they should make Olympic hockey a summer event, summer Olympic event. Where are they? Why aren't they doing that? Because they're not. It's a winter sport. That's when it's going to be played, and the leagues across the globe are going to accommodate. That's just what they're going to do. I've never heard one speck of talk about that. Have you?
I have not.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I just don't think that's something. JJ, you sent me the story. And we don't have time to dive into this in a big way, but it's something to keep your eye on. Ross Dellinger, senior college football writer for Yahoo, wrote a story with a headline, "With the future of college sports uncertain, one thing is clear: an official and permanent split of the NCAA Division I." Did you read the whole story?
I did.
Yeah, I went through it this morning too. And I guess all of the Division I Council and everybody, college athletics is in Naples, Florida. And the commissioners of the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big 10 met with NCAA President Charlie Baker. And the other 28 commissioners, that's right, 28, not just football playing conferences, but I mean, not just the Mountain West and American and Conference USA, but the Big Sky and the Big South and SWAC. All the other 28 commissioners were left out of the meeting. One commissioner told Ross Dellinger, I didn't even know they were meeting. Another one told him, of course, they're cutting us out of it. And the four big conferences, the four power conferences, and Charlie Baker, the NCAA, are putting together rules to govern. I hate the way that they're dividing up this settlement, this House settlement, and that the small conferences are responsible for, I mean, what is it, like 30-something% of the debt, and it's all going to Division I power athletes. The more, I don't know when it happens, JJ, but everything is pointing towards there will be a big four in agreement. Right?
Yeah, they're just not pretending anymore about, we're working for everyone and let's make sure, we might make more money, but we're all in this together. Now they're like, nah, like this is our game. This is what we're doing. If you want scraps, here you go. But we're making the decisions now.
And if not, go do your own thing. And I think, and what they're calling them the other 28, right? Never mind group of 5. The other 28 are trying to figure out how to figure this out. There's 60 group of 5 football programs, 120 plus FCS schools, and nearly 100 schools that don't play football. All in the NCAA Division I. So Monmouth is Division I, just like Georgia. Fairleigh Dickinson is Division I, just like UCLA. But are they? And that's kind of what's going on here. Just keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on what's going on. And look, this model segregates the 350 schools in a division. Some describe this as a separate subdivision for the power schools. And Charlie Baker publicly unveiled this last December. This is what the new president of the NCAA wanted. Power conferences are expected to hold the authority. They'll even enforce their own rules. Many of those rules will be related to that antitrust settlement and the new athlete revenue sharing model. Look, I don't think what people understand is many, if not most, JJ, of the non-power conferences have voted to not participate in revenue sharing with the student athletes. Well, Jeff, can they do that? Yeah, they can. Well, why would they do that? Because they can't, you guys. Because so many of these athletic departments are reliant on institutional support, student fees, and money coming from they can't say, hey, students, give us more money so we can give it to those guys over there. And the chasm, as it has been, will swiftly become wider and wider between the Power Four and everything. They're trying to maintain access to the NCAA tournament. for a school like Gonzaga, Monmouth, Houston Baptist?
I think that's going to be an important aspect, but one that's still going to be hard is football. Like, I think there's going to be a definite split where you see different tiers of football, but schools are going to have to accept, hey, do you want a basketball playing school, a chance at the NCAA tournament, but the resources are not even going to be in the same universe anymore. But if you want that access, deal with it.
The schools are going to have to decide. More to come, but keep your eye on it because it's going on. Thanks to Forrest Stolting. He was here from the Isotopes today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On comes in at 4. And you get Isotopes baseball against Salt Lake. Open up the second half of the season. JJ, they're 0-0. It's basically opening day today.
It's opening day at the ballpark.
Get out there and have fun with it. Adrian, great work on the visuals. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet.